Hello, viewers. This is your Michael from Screen Views, bringing you a new podcast on my topic called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe so hard during this audio podcast recording, as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change to adult language. Now, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, then you should go to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this everything outside of the way, let's get into the latest episode of Donbrothers. So basically, this episode starts off like this. We see this little boy appear in this this busy work district, where people, where people, this strange boy appears in the middle of this work visit, like this work district, where people go to offices and whatnot, and all of a sudden, turns out the boy is being possessed by it turns out the boy is being possessed by Naho, and basically the boy is forcing anybody to play red light, green light. So basically, if you don't know how to play red light, green light, who you know. So basically, the point of red light, green light is. It's like somebody said, says red light, basically it's a service game. Anyway, so basically the people who lose at red light, green light, ends up disappearing somewhere, temporarily ends up disappearing somewhere. So basically, that's what the Naho monster's power is, making people disappeared every time they lose that red light, green light. So anyway, meanwhile, at Black Kaido's coffee shop, we see Hakura, the Yellow Ranger, and Black Kaido himself, who just waiting for waiting for a package, So anyway, here comes Momotaro, looking all pale, looking like looks like he's very sick. So basically, Hakura like, whoa, like, why don't you take a sick day? But Momotaro was too stubborn. He was like, I have a lot of deliveries, and he just like, you got to so basically he excused me after this my delivery. So anyway, so basically like Hakura, like Black Kaido was kind of worried about Momotaro. So basically, Hakura was like, what? I'm going to stop him. So basically, she ran outside, and tried to convince Momotaro to go home and take the medicine and shit, and that's when the morphers appear in front of them and teleport them, and teleport them where the monster was attacking at, along with the other rangers. So basically, Momotaro, every time that Momotaro morphs, kind of he couldn't really do what his grand festival, interests and whatnot. So anyway. So basically, Momotaro was too sick to even do the team finisher attack to take down the monster. So basically, plus him trying to do it, the finishing attack with his sword, and the others use their gun. The others blast. Their team finishing attack. The four rangers use their blastomorphers, their Donbrothers, to blast the monster, and Momotaro used his sunglass sword to to supercharge the blasted attack and basically destroy the monster and separate the person from the Naha monster. But this time he couldn't really perform that attack. So basically, he ended up, basically passed out in the middle of the battle, and basically the monster was decided to take this opportunity to retreat to retreat for now. So anyway, so basically, the other Rangers were concerned, but the other Rangers were kind of concerned about Momotaro. So anyway, so basically, Hakura and Shinji, the Blue Ranger, went to go see Momotaro's, adopted father. So basically, he said that according to Jin, Momotaro's adopted father, he said that Momotaro has these special powers. So basically, once every year he gets sick. So basically, you have to make these special dumplings to help him recover. So basically, you got to make 100. So basically, like these special dumplings. So basically, and basically somehow somehow he managed to download the recipe for these special dumplings onto Hakura's phone. So basically, he said there's one thing, make sure that he eats 100 of these special dumplings. Make sure he eats 300 of these special dumplings. So basically, make sure that. Or if he doesn't, and make sure and also make sure you stick to this recipe. So anyway, so basically once again, Hakura and Shinji once again was trying to ask more questions about the bad guys and about Momotaro and the bad guys once again, and basically like usual, Jin said that, oh, I'm sorry, my visiting time is over, so basically you guys can go. So anyway, they went back to. So basically, they went back to Black Kaido's coffee shop, and turns out that he he was about to make a batch of the special dumplings that can, help cure Momotaro of his sickness. So basically, they was working on finishing that batch of special dumplings. Turns out that Black Kaido had a batch of dumplings. Of these special dumplings, he was about to finish, and basically, working on that. Meanwhile, turns out that the Nahu monster that's suggesting a little boy is not a little boy. Turns out the Nahu monster is suggesting an old man and using his using an avatar of his younger self to attack people. So the old man is in this coma in the hospital, and basically the little boy is just an avatar version of his younger self. Turns out that's the reason why he's doing it, because kids didn't want to put red light, green light on it. So basically, the monster is taking advantage of that. It takes and that's the reason why the Naha monster took control of the old man, because he has a bad. He was kind of obsessed with red light, green light, and basically the kids didn't want to play with him. Anyway, meanwhile, we see Sansa, we see Sansa, one of Sun Omi's comparing, one of Sun Omi's, one of Sunrise's companions, just walking around the city trying to figure out his emotions until he bumped into Ichigo. At this point, none of the bad guys know what the Rangers look like as a range force, such as Sunai. Only knows where Hakura is a ranger. None of his other companions don't know what the rangers look like as a Chidun force. So basically, he was being a bit quippy, trying to understand human emotions, and he started to freak out Yoshi. So basically, Yoshi, tried his best to get the guy to understand emotions, but instead he ended up leaving leaving, and that's it. And that's when Sun Only came and said that we have a situation with Suneye. So basically, they went back to the base, and they see Suneye, standing up. It looked like he's in a stasis trance, looked like he's in a trance. It looked like he's floating into a trance. So basically, Sandra was like, what the hell happened to Sana? I don't know. He one minute, we was talking about our next move, then all of a sudden he just stand there and just froze. So basically, turned out that Sun Omi is having this vision of these weird creatures while he's in this sort of like this stasis, like in this sort of like stasis lock and whatnot. So anyway, the others, so basically, meanwhile, back at Black Kaido's coffee shop, the others managed to finish making the special dumplings. So basically, they got Motaro and basically and made like 300 dumplings, in these special dumplings for Motaro, and he ate all 300 of these dumplings, and he was back to his normal self. So basically, just in time, the monster was attacking once again, and basically the Rangers showed up, and basically, confronted the monsters together. All the Rangers confronted the monsters together, and all of a sudden, that's when Donbrothers started to feel sick again. So basically, Hakura and Shinji was like, oh, what the hell? He ate like 300 dumplings. So basically, he got average person to a little bit, sick for eating 300 of those special dumplings. So anyway, so basically, the blue, so basically, Yoshi and Isbell got captured by the monsters that like blue light again and disappeared, and basically Hakura and Shinji had to carry, Motaro away from the battlefield, and basically they retreated back at, they had no choice but to retreat after that incident. And basically, they went once again to see Motaro's adopted father, Jin. So basically, he tried the dumplings that they made, and these dumplings are good for eating, but these are not the dumplings. These are not the dumplings I tell you to make. So basically, you didn't make the particular dumplings from the recipe that I gave you. These are just regular food, special dumplings for eating. These are not the dumplings I tell you to make. So basically, he's saying that, these dumplings are good for eating, but they're not for. These are not the dumplings I gave you the recipe for to kill Motaro. So basically, they screwed up, they screwed up, and they said then, and they started to make the special dumplings just like Jin gave them before. So anyway, they made the special dumplings according to the recipe that Jin gave them, and basically, working their ass off to make these special dumplings to cure Motaro of his sickness. But Motaro, being a stubborn, being the noble, stubborn, hopeful, being stubborn and helpful, he decided to, go back to work, even though he was sick, even though he was still sick and whatnot, to finish delivering his packages. So anyway, So anyway, so basically the monster showed up once again, and basically Momotaro was in the area where the monster was attacking at, and basically he morphed up and started to fight the monster. So basically the other Rangers, got word about the monster, and and basically and basically like Black Kaido said, I'm finished making the special dumplings for Momotaro. So anyway. So basically the Rangers did show up to help Mobutaro out, and basically Mobutaro was to start his best effort trying to fight the red light green light monster. He was just too weak to put up a fight, and basically it forced him to do more, and basically looked like he was about to get gun for it. So anyway, lucky the blue and yellow Rangers showed up and helped out Mobutaro. And basically after they showed up, Black Kaido showed up, and basically, with the dumplings were already finished. So basically, so basically the blue ranger got disappeared by the monsters. Red light, green light powers got disappeared, and basically, it was just Hakura, the only ranger standing, that was detecting Mobutaro. So basically, that's where Black Kaido used his morpher and transformed into Black Senkaiser and started to fight the monsters. He said that, make sure he eats this dumplings. I keep this monster, and make sure that he eats all these dumplings. So anyway, so basically, even though that Black Kaido was fighting the monster, he was also keeping track of all the dumplings that Kaido was, that Mobile Tower was eating. So basically, turns out, Kaido was each dumpling he started to eat, he felt better. Turns out that Black Kaido forgot one dumpling. So basically, Mobutaro managed to eat 299 of these special dumplings, but there was one dumpling missing. So basically, Black Kaido said that you guys can handle this monster from here. But Haka was still freaking out that wait, how are you a ranger? We're trying to act you were the Power Ranger this whole time, and Black Kaido said, there's no time for answers right now. I'm gonna go get the last dumpling. You and Momotaro should be able to handle this monster, by yourself. So basically, they had no choice but to play the monster's red light, green light, and that's when, even though Momotaro was still a bit weak, he was able to use a new Avataro gear called the Robot Avataro gear and transform into this robot samurai form, this big, sort of like this robot humanoid samurai form, and use this robotic form to take down the Fructoses and was able to destroy the Naha monster and set and basically restore and basically destroyed the Naha monster that was using the old man's child form as an avatar, and basically set the old man free, and he woke up from his coma, and basically we see Black Kaido coming with the last dumpling, and another avatar gear appeared, and it turns out the monster was based off the Ghostbuster, and basically appeared into Black Kaido's hand, into Black Kaido's little plate, and when he has the last dumpling in. So basically, Black Kaido managed to give Mobutaro the last dumpling. He started to feel better, and they was able to save everybody who that the Naha monster made disappear at red light, green light were it came back unharmed. So everybody who that the monster made disappeared, but like reappeared, and everybody was okay. So meanwhile, Sandra and Omi was still worried that that someone was still in his stasis, trance. And basically, in his stasis trance, somehow was having this vision of a group of people on a tour bus, going through this tunnel, and basically, once the bus came out of the tunnel, all the people was gone, and basically that's when he snapped out of his trance. He said that the beasties are coming. So basically, and some Omi and Sansa was kind of freaking out that when he said when Sana said that the beasties are coming, and basically that's when his comrades started to freak out when he said the beasties are coming, and basically this is how the episode ended. So anyway, this is we were wondering so basically, the turns out there might be a second, bidding faction that. So basically, we might get a second bidding faction, or maybe a different version of Omi that or whatnot. So basically, this episode. Very interesting, ending on a very interesting, on a very mysterious, interesting note. So anyway, this was a good episode. What do you guys think? Yes, no, or just okay? Please let me know with the comments below. Anyway, sign off. 1.